You're looking so powerful. And guess what we're waiting for? It's not your suit, it's your content. Because if you wear this powerful cologne and everything, you're well dressed, then you now climb the pulpit. And then you start talking. You can snap this. You know those kind of, you can snap, which is good. I get me. After doing all this, you now open your mouth. They ask you a simple question. You can't talk. Something is wrong. Have you heard Obama talk? Have you heard Clinton talk? They are men with what? With content. So content eventually is very, very important. I was telling someone, I said, before you go to preach, I'll feel like a naked person. So when you've spent time, you've prayed, you've had your back end covered, you now wear suit, cut your hair. Are you getting me? If you like, relax it. If you like, fright, do whatever you want to. It doesn't matter again. When you come, you can now come with what? With content. When you're going into your office, you've studied what you're going to say. You have value. I'm going for a conference. Let me just say this. Because life is along lines, not close, not language. People connect along the lines. Let me tell you. People connect not along the lines of tribe. Forget, those things are superficial. They can be used for politics. They can be used for campaign. But people don't connect along the... See, racism is an idea to separate. It doesn't exist. You see all this thing of fighting for visa. I always tell people, if there are things that, if you develop who you are, countries will be asking you, don't you want a visa? I was listening to someone the other day on television, and I said, look, 3 countries in Europe and the United States have offered me citizenship. I have rejected because of my love for Nigeria. I didn't hear any other thing he said again. You know what I was hearing? 3 countries have offered me citizenship. That's the only thing I said, listen, those countries, I know how they are. For them to offer you citizenship, there must be something they have seen in you. Every other thing he said after that was not my business. I said, a human being was offered. So that's why things like values like diligence and dedication, commitment, staying, hard work, are you getting me? They are things that if you imbibe, you get happy. Because listen, at this level, if this is your level of ability, remember I would say these are abilities, right? If at this level, you can connect with anybody from anywhere in the world. If you increase your level, you discover that you begin to meet with different kinds of people from anywhere in the world. Your conversations will change. Because people connect along the lines of ability, not race. If you're worth $40 billion today, Donald Trump can call you. Someone says, is it only money? No, it's part of the ability. Intellectual prowess, what you can do, value that you generate. These are all very important things. And you know what I want you guys doing in CFC? Don't just strive for what? Have goals. All our partners. But do what? Increase. You should be better tomorrow than you are today. Amen. Someone say, what's the point living today if you will not be better? Do you get it now? You should strive for that. So, I don't know which of the pages now, but on one of the pages at the back, there's an exercise there that I need you to take. And what's basically that? Know your ceilings. Page 4, right? Know your ceilings. Can I be better than this? Like that coach. I told you, what did he do? He resigned because this is not good enough for Netherlands. Know your ceilings. What are my limitations? We're going to look at that. That's what we're discussing in this second half. Then list some of your major what? Goals for the next 1 year. We'll look at that in the next, that's what we're going to discuss this afternoon. But you look at your goals. In the next 1 year, what are your goals? Then find out how many, are you with me, will require the cooperation and participation of people or a team, and find out where you are with them. You have a fish pond. Is there anybody cleaning it for you? Is there anybody helping you feed the fish? Are you with me? Then those people, where am I with them? Learn to evaluate your relationships. We're going to talk about how to motivate teams. Are you with me? How to motivate your team. The moment you put 2, it's a team. It's a tag team. Life is not UFC, it's WWE. That's why it's more entertaining. But even UFC, they have a team. You have your people at your corner there. You have your trainer, you have the person who's checking you, you have your doctor. It's a team. Even solo sports that are played by individuals, have teams. Of course, some they hire their coaches. But life is about teamwork. There's nowhere you go and you see any established person without people. So you ask yourself that question. It's an exercise. Listen, sometimes when we say do this exercise, you just leave them. Today you are going to write. That's why I said you should pay for the materials. You're going to sit down and write. Because after you do that, you now rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Ask yourself, do I have the necessary skill? Can I talk to these people? Can I tell you one of the ways you know if you are short in ability? One of the ways you know. When there is this sense of apprehension in entering a particular group that is not your familiar terrain. Do you get me? Imagine this is your ability here, and they call you to come to a conference to talk to people who are at this level. Do you know? One of the first things that happens is that your mind beats. That's why certain people, if you invite them to preach in a church of 10, 15 people, they can handle it. Tell them to come and preach in a place with 2,000 people where certain bishops are sitting, or certain men of God. You know, the way they start, you will know. I don't know how I came here. It's grace. I don't even know how I arrived here. In fact, for the grace. Of course, they are saying the right thing, but you know what they are saying that they are not saying. Then someone can say, I know grace brought me here. I know that. I know it's not your hard work. It's grace. But then there's a way your tone can speak betrayal. So he said, today what am I going to say again when they've said everything? And of the truth, when you start talking, you know that they've said everything. Let me tell you a story, you'll laugh. In your beginning days, don't feel bad. Learn to just grow. That's as I learn to grow. I went for a camp meeting 1 year, and then Reverend just called me, said, come, Reverend Ada. He said, you will be preaching tomorrow morning. I didn't sleep. I said, I'm going to preach. Preach where? It was my comfort zone. Now I've been brought to a place where people are gathering. I spent the whole night praying, studying. They gave me 30 minutes. In 15, 17 minutes, I think the message was done. I said, God, don't embarrass me, because I don't know what to say again. You have to give me something to say. That's why I wasted their time. I just kept finding my way through. So, of course, I went back. I knew I didn't deliver. You know, when you don't deliver, you know. I said, well, but I tried. I just encouraged myself. No, that man really believes in me. The following year again, I came in and said, he's giving me a full service. But I was not tensed. I didn't pray like the other time. The other time I was praying, Lord, you must do something. Now I was praying, Lord, what do you want me to do? There are two different things. The first one was, Lord, you must do something. Now I'm saying, what do you want me to do? Because I'm available. After the service, there's a guy who called Big Sly. I just called his name on purpose. Big Sly now walked up to me and said, Pastor Arome, you are really improved. He said, you have improved. That's the same way what you do, you can improve. I got Shima Phillips shoes. I got 2 pairs. I got the second one yesterday. I'm advertising you. I grew the naira. So when I brought it out of the park, everybody in the house was like, wow. Someone said, you didn't wear it today. Not yet. The day is not over. Eh? Is it? It is set apart. It's sanctified. It's sanctified. Yeah, it's sanctified. It's truly sanctified. It has to be sanctified. But they were like, wow. Everybody in the house was like, wow. This comfort, That's what they said. You know what they're saying? She's improving. So people know when you're improving. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And people know when you are not improving. They might not tell you, but they know. I didn't tell them, how do you see the shoes? They were the ones, big teacher said, wow, comfort. The cafe just came look and said, wow, this comfort. What are they saying? They can see. How did the Bible say we should make progress? Meditate upon these things. Give yourself wholly to them. That your profiting will appear to all. That means there are things that if you keep giving yourself to, your profiting will appear. You are not the one to tell people, can't you see I'm profiting? You don't have to I'm profiting. Are you me? So you have a word that evaluates you. You must be deliberate about your growth. I know the way human beings are. If they are bigger than you, they don't aspire to you. Nobody aspires to anybody they are bigger than. So you can't inspire people. And I'm not talking about just education or money or anything. No. That's why to be at the top, you have to keep growing. People cannot aspire. They might follow you, but they don't aspire to you. And the idea is you can't really influence people that you don't inspire. Tomorrow, when I'm talking to you about innovation, you understand why it's very important for every leader to be innovative. Because who can't aspire to you? That's why people just live flat lives with nobody in it. So, you do that. Rate yourself, access your abilities on a scale of 1 to 10. Then ask others to rate your leadership because people are looking at you. So, if you want an honest assessment of yourself, are you listening to me? Then open up the space for others to say something about you. And it will help to get people who are blunt. Sometimes the people you don't like, they are the ones actually telling you who you are. You know those people who look like they're the ones telling you who you are. Your wife, husband, best friend. And you should ask them, what do you think about me? Am I good with people? Some people just say, how can you not be good? You're good. Those are not the kind of people I'm talking about. Talking about people who can be honest with you. One day I told my wife, I said, I'm a hard man, right? He said, you're just realizing. I said, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting to hear. You're not. You're just realizing. I said, me, hard. I'm not hard, I'm soft. See, that's how I thought. Joe is laughing. He just saying, so your wife knows. I could see in his eyes. I could see it in his eyes. Oh, so your wife knows too. But it's helping me to soften, to deal with people. So if you want to grow, you'll be honest. If you want praise singers, you can pay for them. But they're the ones that kill you. They outgrow you, they leave. Why? None of you will go to a conference of primary school teachers anymore. There's nothing to tell you. There was a time they had something to tell you. No longer. So if you want to be a leading leader in the industry, you want to rise up to it. I want to be a leading politician, a leading voice in this, a leading fashionista. Are you getting me? A leading this. Then you have to keep doing what? Growing. You know, and I was telling someone, I said, very soon, I'll be telling people that I've been doing Shima Phillips for 40 years. Amen. Amen. Me. All these Levi Strauss we wear, they are just like Onitsha boys who started under a basement in New York. Go and read about them. Jews who were houseboys, they were maids. But they innovated, which is what you're going to learn. Say amen. All right. So, the way not to retire and be sad is to have what we call PDP, a personal developmental plan. Have a personal developmental plan. Now, growth must be structured. That will determine what you eat, what not to eat. Now, I put a story up in the document that you have. I call it the plight of Charles, not that one. Now, have you seen people? Charles had been in his current position for what? 3 years. And his job was comfortable. Have you ever been there? I have a well-paid job in Abuja. They pay me 1.4 every month. You know those kind of, I don't have a bad salary. He knew what was expected of him. His boss was great. And his teammates were his what? His friends. Life was good. You know, you are well paid. Your boss is a nice man. Your team members are all great people. You have friends. You have it going well for you. You can talk to them. Another 6 months passed and Charles started to watch the what? The clock. The 4:30 p.m. countdown became what? A daily ritual. By Wednesday each week, Charles was in what? Friday mood. Have you been there? You know what I mean? On Wednesday, I say, it's still Wednesday. You know that kind of, because you can't just wait for weekend because everything becomes mundane. You're just going through the routine. So if you started working at the age of, let's say, 25, and retirement age is 65, that's how many years of your life? 40. So imagine investing about 40 years of your life into that kind of routine. Boring. That's why a lot of time when people resign or retire from a firm, they die. Because there's really nothing to do. But you discover that in that 40 years, there was no plan for growth. They can even be paying you 5 million naira. But there was no plan. So guess what happens to Charles? You know, he's looking at the clock. He wanted more excitement and challenge. The status quo wasn't cutting it for him anymore, and he needed something to change. Surely he'd been with the what? The organization long enough to deserve a what? A promotion of some kind, maybe a job what? Reassignment, or a change of office at least. But it's just the same thing. Now let's see Charles's mistakes. Number one. The truth is that many people are in this place where Charles is. Are you getting me? Because Charles is our case study here. What's the name you call that? Avatar, right? The CFC Charles and Jennifer. Personal profile, you know. Number one is that a lot of people haven't figured out that your career satisfaction and where you're going to in life is not actually your boss's responsibility. Neither is it your company's responsibility. Let me even add, it's not your spouse's responsibility. Did you get that? Your career satisfaction to the hands of others. Are you with me? See, if you leave your growth in the hands of others, you might end up ending where you don't want to go. Amen. And you might end up not doing what you want to do. That's how you see people feeling like all their lives they were used. You say, oh, this person used me. Nobody can use you. Nobody can. In fact, it is said that if you have no plan for your life, you start living at another person's plan. So you must have a plan. And if you're not deliberate about it, you have unconsciously abdicated that role to someone else. Did you get that? Life is not luck. Be deliberate. So what you need to not to be stuck where Charles is stuck is what? A personal developmental what? Plan. It doesn't matter whether you are doing music. It doesn't matter whether you are doing art. It doesn't matter whether you are a businessman. You need to have this plan in place. So can I walk you through some of the things you need? Let's quickly look at the benefits of a personal developmental plan. Can I ask you a question? How many of you have ever thought of this? How many of you have one? Okay, you have one, right? At the end of this class, I'll ask the question again. Are we together? Because, before, when they say you are planless, you get angry. I used to get angry if they tell me I was planless. Until I began to study this thing and work with it, and I discovered that, wait, maybe I had a wish, not a plan. I was just wishing something, didn't translate into a what? A plan. So benefits of a personal development plan, one, is building on what? On strengths. The reason a lot of people are taking this subject very seriously, especially in recent times, especially among younger people, is because the dynamics of leadership has changed. Do you know you are not living in your father's days? The dynamics of leadership has changed. Do you know there was a time when knowledge was not in abundance as it is today? When you are dealing with more enlightened people, you can't talk to them like illiterates. So the top-down approach to leadership doesn't really work. It has to be more dynamic. You have to be flexible. You have to use a servant leadership approach. You need to be flexible with leadership. There are certain government policies and corporate policies that used to work. They don't work anymore. Why? Because they are too mundane to serve the current trends in the world. Tomorrow, when we are looking at innovation, like I'm jumping the gun, I'm going to show you different innovation trends. Because innovation can come in forms of what they call incremental innovations, architectural innovations. Are you with me? Innovations can come in the form of radical innovations, especially with technology redefining how many things are done.